Thanks for joining the informational webinar for the Global Virtual Innovation Hub Responsible Finance FinTech Program, sixth cohort recruitment. We'll just go through the program, an introduction to RFI, and then explain how fintechs benefit from participating. And then at the end, we'll finish up with a question and answer session, and we'll share these slides out after the webinar. So as an introduction, RFI is the first nonprofit that's principally dedicated to connecting the responsible finance and Islamic finance markets. We work as a catalyst to promote action by financial institutions addressing environmental, social, and governance issues towards an equitable, inclusive, and sustainable future. And RFI has been running the GVI Hub program for 2 years now. We started in 2021, working together with HSBC. We've had 5 cohorts that have come before this, more than 50 participants across the first cohorts, and so we're really excited for the 6th cohort, and we're recruiting it now to begin in mid-October. The critical role for ESG and responsible finance among fintech startups is driven by the need, the importance, the urgency of environmental, social, and governance issues, and the difficulty for companies embedding it after the fact versus as they grow through the process. So that's what the program is designed to support, is for fintechs to work as they grow and learn how to build it on iteratively through the growth cycle. There's been a lot of developments. The Principles for Responsible Investment has put together due diligence questionnaire templates for venture capital limited partners who invest in venture capital funds. That all trickles down to the venture capital investees, the fintechs. There's a net zero alliance around venture capital companies. We've seen venture capital companies in the Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey that have focused on ESG issues. And so that's really what we're trying to equip fintech startups working in the region to be able to embed into their operations. The GVI Hub program takes a small cohort up to 12 maximum over generally 10 weeks. This program will be slightly different because of COP interrupts the program. So we had to combine the first 2 weeks into one session, but otherwise the program's unchanged. It takes an hour in person, virtually, and then 1 other hour of work in between, so to be as active and apply the knowledge that we're providing in the sessions. There's no cost to register, and it'll help fintech companies to build experience implementing responsible finance. And at the end of the 12 weeks, as noted at the bottom, participants in the program can apply to join the RFI Foundation's emissary network, become part of RFI's global network, and it'll be a bit more at the end of the presentation. The program itself is focused across 4 modules. The first is an orientation and sustainability baselining to understand what the participants in each cohort, what they're bringing to the program to begin with, an introduction to sustainability and ESG, so that we're all starting from the same starting point. The second module on responsible finance is one of the core pieces of the program, Introduction to Responsible Finance, which is referring to not only the direct operational sustainability issues that fintechs deal with, but the fact that as fintechs, they tend to be enablers for other activities, and they need to encapsulate an understanding of both that and their operational footprint and how they approach ESG and responsible finance. So in integrating ESG in operations, mapping materiality, which is the driving basis for a lot of work around ESG, So focusing on the things that matter to the business, assessing ESG impacts in your value chain, and fintechs can have long value chains because of what they finance, but also all the things that go into their own operations. The third module is focused on impact measurement and management, tools and resources for responsible finance, and there'll be a chance for throughout the program for fintechs to actually use it in the context of their own company, and then working on how do you communicate what you're doing on responsible finance so that investors and other stakeholders know that you know what you're doing, and even if you're starting with just a few things, you can explain why you focus on those things and how you plan to build out the adoption of responsible finance within your business's growth trajectory. And then at the end, you'll have a chance to demonstrate what you've learned, get feedback on how you're presenting your responsible finance story, and then get connected up to the RFI emissary network as well. The GVI Hub cohort benefits. It tends to be a cooperatively focused learning experience with other startups, as well as global experts in sustainability and responsible finance. The small group setting is really focused on each participant being able to learn and apply the material in the course. As I mentioned, the chance to use a sustainability management platform, RIM, is the one that we use, and apply it to your own business. Building your knowledge through the program, learning how to explain why it's important, how it applies to your company, and how to gain the most from your efforts in responsible finance. And also how to develop the ability to translate the whole wide range of everything that falls under sustainability, ESG, and responsible finance into things that are specifically relevant to your own business. You can't do everything, but you have to focus on the things that are most important to your own business. The program is free to register. And after the Responsible Finance FinTech Program, you'll be able to apply to join the RFI Emissary Network, which is a global community of people brought together by personal passion and professional experience in responsible finance. And we have regular engagement for RFI emissaries, as well as with other industry stakeholders. We've had one of our cohorts has been an alumni cohort, so bringing back participants from an earlier cohort to check in and see what challenges in the responsible finance domain that they've faced, and work with them on an abbreviated program to help them tackle the challenges that they've run into after they finished the first round and started to implement the responsible finance. And then other things across our network, the invitations to other events, working with other organizations, and that comes along periodically. And so really it's an opportunity to network with like-minded people working across responsible finance, including in the fintech startup world, the broader responsible finance world, and other people who are interested in professionally active in ESG and responsible finance. So I think with that, I'll stop the presentation, and we can move on to questions.